Oh, what perfume am I wearing? I felt like I would just go perfect for the time. Just traditional Chanel number 5. But this is Chanel number 5 Au Premier, which is I wear pretty frequently. It's the original Chanel number 5 with a sort of what they call an updated fragrance profile. It's, really not as strong as the original Chanel number 5, but just as expensive. But I love it. I love it. Chanel number 5 Au Premier. This is a floral aldehyde, I guess. Lily of the Valley rose, a sandalwood base. Some lemon in this. Yeah. So my fragrance tonight, because I didn't really have anything, like usually I kind of think like, what fragrance would I wear with that outfit? And I try to sort of do that, like come up with like, what story does that tell? Like, it doesn't always happen. But, I did say recently that, well, I've been saying for a long time, that I feel like everything should be without gender. Like, if it makes you feel good, like, Cheryl, listen, I'm going to quote the prophetess Sheryl Crow. If it makes you happy, can't be that bad. So, with that said, when you wear fragrance, if it just makes you feel good, like wear what makes you feel great. Because for me, fragrance takes me to places and instances, and I can remember how certain people smell or how they've made me feel. And sometimes you'll smell something and it will on someone and it'll remind you of someone else. I get this compliment quite a bit from people, and I'm only saying it because it means a lot to me. I get this compliment from people where, I hear them talking to queens and they'll go, ooh, that queen's so sexy, or ooh, that queen's sultry. And people will say to me, you remind me of my aunt. You remind me of my mom. You remind me of, and you know what? That is the hugest compliment that someone can give me, because in many ways that means that I provide a level of comfort when I'm around them. And in many ways that's because someone smells a certain way, or people are always like, oh, I want a big old hug from a big old girl. And that's fine. If that brings you comfort too, well, why not? But so fragrance can take you somewhere, right? And it takes me places. It transports me, and it makes me remember, like, even as a kid, I can remember, I was my mom, single parent, but I'm an only child. So we were always, like this, and we still are. But I can remember my mom scrimping and saving for everything. But I don't remember really going without, per se. But I can always remember, before there was Big Lots, it used to be called Pick and Save. And my mom used to get all her perfume at Pick and Save. And I remember she wanted Poison so bad, but she couldn't afford it. So she used to get this one from Pick and Save at the time. And it was called Enamorada. That was the name of it. And it was like, if you like, you'll love. And she used to wear it all the time, and that always sunk in for me. And then my Nina, my Aunt Alice, who's my godmother, my Nina always wore white diamonds and passion. So that's something that, it's just something that sticks with you. So, but when I think about that, I think about the fragrances that I like to wear and how they make me feel. And I feel like if you like something, just wear it. I mean, typically there are what we would consider to be male fragrance profiles and female fragrance profiles, but that's out the door. I mean, why limit yourself? And so bridging that gap a little bit, Calvin Klein, not everybody loves Calvin Klein fragrances. I personally do, for the freshness. Calvin Klein does a summer line, and this one is from 2019, and it's just called Summer. And it came out with this pop art bottle. And it also came with stickers that you could put on the bottle if you wanted to. And this fragrance they've marketed this fragrance to be what they call, quote, unisex. That's the term that they were using or are still using. I appreciate that the effort and the goal is for someone to buy something that they can wear at all times, anytime. But it's cool because it kind of bridges that gap for people that go, well, I don't know which one to buy. I want to buy a, quote, female fragrance profile, but I'm I identify as male, but I want to try something different. This is a perfect way to do that. Remember CK1 when that first came out? That was considered a quote unisex. CKB was the same way. A lot of the Gap scents that came in the silver cans. And also when you do essential oils too, that's considered sort of a safe zone for some people that are concerned about how they appear to other people. So, summer. This is I think they've been doing this for a few years. I only have this one. I don't have any other summer ones, but there is a summer 2020, which is supposed to be a different fragrance profile. This one is sunny. It's a sunny fragrance, right? So when I think of sunny, I think of sort of citrusy. It is citrusy, but it's also, there's some berry to this. When I say citrus, I don't mean necessarily lemony. CK1 to me has a lemon to it. This is more like tangerine. There is a musk base to it. There's like matcha tea. I think that's kind of what I'm getting from it. I think more modern fragrances are try to bring new elements to the fragrance. So what they do is they try to bring those new elements as the top notes and then keep the traditional notes in the base. So that way, when you wear a fragrance and it wears away, what's left is a traditional scent. So, you know, berry, I actually get, this is going to sound weird to some people because depending upon how you know it, it sounds more like herbal and organic to say, oh, I smell coriander. But what I smell is cilantro, which is coriander. Cilantro is like, you know, that's what it smells like. And I smell that in here and I love it. I love it. It's fresh. So yeah, I like that. Berries, sunny, fruity, a bit fruity. Yeah, berries and orange are fruity. So yeah. Thanks, Kels. Laura, yeah, I actually love a soapy smell. I do. You know what I was thinking about this? I'm thinking that this could be, see, in the summertime, I like to wear, everyone likes their own thing. Wear what you like. But for me, because I get so hot in the summertime, I like something that is kind of light. And this, I feel like, is a good thing if you, it's almost a step above a body spray, if that makes sense. This does have a longer lasting power than a body spray, but it reminds you of that freshness, So I'm wearing an Estée Lauder fragrance tonight, a very popular fragrance amongst a very specific demographic. The fragrance I'm wearing tonight is called Beautiful by Estée Lauder. It came out like mid-80s. It's not for everyone. Again, Estée Lauder fragrances, some of the older ones are very strong. This is a very, very bold fragrance. Very floral. I will say in the base, there's like muskiness and it's like, what would I say? It's bold, it's musky, like sandalwood, a little bit vanilla, but all floral, like all floral on top. A little bit herbal, not as it's not really a juicy fragrance. Some people call it another old lady fragrance. I get it, that's fine. I love to smell like an old lady. I think it's great. I think it's glamorous. But Beautiful by Estée Lauder. Yes. And this was a gift from Michelle Blair, who sent me a stash of fragrances not too long ago. And this is one of them. I've had Beautiful for a long, long time, but I literally was out of Beautiful when this bottle came. I love it. You will love it if you like really strong fragrances. If you don't like really strong fragrances, this is absolutely not for you. But if you love the idea of jasmine, lily, rose, really strong, really 1985, like very, then you will love that. But, you know, if you don't, then that's not the fragrance for you. There's other Estée Lauder, like you could do Estée Lauder Pleasures maybe if you wanted a Lauder fragrance. I would say Pleasures is more lightly floral green, a little crispier, not as bold, not as old school floral per se. Oh, the scent of the day. Well, I decided, of course, this, you know, in my mind, it was like, oh, I'm going to wear this with this outfit. And it didn't happen. So I'm going to wear the perfume anyway, or I am wearing the perfume anyway. First of all, the bottle it's a pretty bottle. Isn't that pretty? but it's very unusual to hold and spray because you have to hold it like that. That's not conducive, really, in my mind. Um, but anyway, and I have a story about this perfume too. This is Cashmere by Chopard. And if you're not familiar with Chopard, Chopard is a fine jewelry company. They have Swiss watches. They have, beautiful diamonds. Chopard is mainly a fine jewelry company. And if you look closely at the bottle, there's like this beautiful sort of, this shape here. So it reminds you of something, something Eastern, really. And then there's a beautiful design on there as well. So this is a perfume that, I don't want to be insensitive, at least not intentionally. But there's terminology that we use and we don't use. There's sort of like dead terminology that is still used in the fragrance world. I haven't been corrected on it yet, or I haven't found a way to correct myself on it yet. But it's the term Oriental. Oriental is not a way to describe a person. We know this. But people in many fields use it to describe things, like an Oriental rug. In this case, this fragrance profile would be considered an Oriental floral. That's what they would call this. Again, not my terminology. If there is a better terminology that we are now using, I don't think we say an Asian floral. Regardless, it's not really floral to me. So we'll move past that. It's not really a floral fragrance to me. This is definitely based in like tonka bean and like vanilla. They're definitely going to get a residual of vanilla consistently. We talk about top notes, base notes, middle notes. The top note is the note that you like first are attracted to. You smell it, and that's what you love about it. But it's kind of like when I'm gonna correlate this to like a drag show. Sometimes you go to a drag show and the advertisement is for the biggest name they think is going to draw people. So oftentimes they will book someone from Drag Race and they'll say so-and-so from Drag Race is going to be here, and people will go and they'll be excited and they can't wait to see. And then they'll get there and they'll go, oh, that was cool, but I really liked this person. So they'll fall in love with another performer. That could be a local performer or maybe a new performer. And so that's kind of like the situation with a perfume. The top note is what draws you in, right? That's the note that you're going to go, oh, I love that. You either respond to it immediately you do respond to it immediately, but it's either positive or negative. What happens is that top note will dissipate away eventually. And then that middle note will come in. That'll be there for a while. Usually that's part of the spice. And then the base note is what sticks around forever. So if you wear a fragrance and you say, oh, it changes on me, people will say that. It changes because of my chemistry. What happens is that you might be smelling it at different times. So what's left is the base, what the main ingredient of what it's built on. So for instance, if you look at a house and you say, I remembered that the house was green, but you can also remember that there are some fine things to the house that made you like the green. Well, I liked it because there was some white trimming, or there were some bay windows or something like that. So that's the top. Those are those top notes, and those middle notes are the sort of the accents that draw you in. And then you do remember those things, but you'll always remember the base. And so if the base color of a house is green, the base note of this fragrance would be vanilla and tonka bean, I would say. But it's definitely, there's like a fruitiness to this as well, which I think is like I would say maybe like peach. I get peach and apricot, raspberry a little bit, not citrusy, almost like a raspberry vanilla, maybe. I like this. I quite like this fragrance. I think it's really good. I was introduced to this fragrance probably 15 years ago. I think this came out in the early 90s, but I didn't know about it then. I learned about this fragrance from the supermodel Janice Dickinson. Not because I read about it, but because I modeled with Janice Dickinson, believe it or not.